The Sea Devils are back in Doctor Who in the 13th Doctor story, Legend of the Sea Devils. And most likely you've clicked on this video either because you're curious about their history on the show or because you fancy a nostalgic tiptoe back through Sea Devil history. Suffice to say, I will be aiming to satisfy both groups of people. It's surely no coincidence that showrunner Chris Chibnall is bringing back the Sea Devils an astonishing 50 years after they first appeared in Doctor Who. Yes, when a Doctor Who monster sticks around for 5 whole decades, you know they were a great idea, and clearly a great design too, because the Sea Devils we see in Legend of the Sea Devils look very, very similar to how they did when they first appeared in 1972. And yet, despite how blatantly cool Sea Devils are, they certainly haven't been overused in Doctor Who. In fact, Legend of the Sea Devils is only their 3rd appearance in the history of the show. So let's take a look at their first 2. The Sea Devils were created by Malcolm Hulke, a Doctor Who writer whose very name inspires nostalgic chills in so many Doctor Who fans. Malcolm conceived the Sea Devils as the amphibious cousins of the Silurians, as seen in 1970s Doctor Who and the Silurians. And yes, so far that's the only Doctor Who title ever which has been called Doctor Who and the X-Monsters. I think they should do it more often. The Sea Devils' first appearance came in, funnily enough, The Sea Devils, the 3rd serial of season 9, which ran in 6 episodes between February and April 1972. Lately I've been finding it hard to say February. Have you noticed that? Is this something that's going around? In this 3rd Doctor story, the Master, as played by Roger Delgado, wanted to control the Sea Devils so that he could use them as an army to take over the world. Honestly, he never tired of that same old strategy, did he? Even though the Doctor completely foiled him every time. In a similar way to what happened in Doctor Who and the Silurians, the Doctor attempted to broker peace between the Sea Devils and humanity, only for the whole thing to inevitably go horribly wrong. The Sea Devils looked absolutely great in their debut story right from the start, and the sight of them emerging from the sea truly ranks among the show's most iconic moments. Look at that. How awesome is that? They fired literal handguns shaped like discs and pulled off a whole string of dangerous stunts, like most Doctor Who monsters tended to do around that unit period. And this story, the Sea Devils' first UK home video release, came in this form, a VHS double pack. Obviously 6 episodes back in those days had to be split across 2 tapes. And let's take a moment to appreciate this artwork, which I think is among the greatest in the Doctor Who video range. In fact, when we reach the end of this video, I'll put an on-screen link to a video in which I looked at my favourite Doctor Who VHS artwork, and I think you might enjoy that. Yeah, the Sea Devil looks great here, doesn't it? Look at that handgun there, that disc-shaped gun. Very nice indeed. And of course there's the Master, being absolutely impetuous. What a jackanapes. Got some nice pictures of Sea Devils on the back here, including the Doctor about to square off against a Sea Devil with a bit of the old Venusian Aikido. Sidestepping to book adaptations for a moment, I just want to take a moment to appreciate this, the Target novelisation of the Sea Devils, which was one of my favourites when I was a kid. That's a gorgeous cover thanks to Chris Achilleos. Rest in peace, Chris, you were fantastic. Now, there are some great internal illustrations inside this book, and even though they're not done by Chris Achilleos, they are fantastic nonetheless, and there are 2 that I want to show you. Look at that, a Sea Devil in a corridor blasting its death ray right next to the Doctor's head. And then this is a Sea Devil looking at a monitor screen watching a submarine there. And for some reason, this button here really caught my attention as a kid, because I guess it suggested that the Sea Devils had their own language, and it really made them feel more real, the fact they had their own symbol-based language there. So cool. In 2008, the Sea Devils was released on DVD with a fair old plethora of special features. There's a commentary on here with the director Michael Bryant, Terrence Dix and Barry Letts, moderated by Andrew Cartmel, so that's a pretty cool commentary there. There's a making of documentary for the Sea Devils called Hello Sailor, would you believe? And there's other cool stuff like 8mm footage shot by amateurs during the making of the Sea Devils, and that even has its own commentary from Michael, Terrence and Barry. If you don't yet have this DVD release, you'll find a link to it downstairs in the video description. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, then please exterminate the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, then please do so for more Doctor Who information, entertainment and nostalgia, along with some horror stuff too, stirred into the cauldron. Now, the Sea Devils, along with the rest rest of Season 9 has yet to make its appearance on Blu-ray as part of the Doctor Who The Collection box set series. Although that's just at the time of recording this video. If you're watching this in the future, you can rest assured that there's a link to order that box set downstairs in the video description. 12 whole years passed before the Sea Devils swam back onto our screens, and I was really excited about Warriors of the Deep, the opening serial of 1984's 21st season of Doctor Who. And this was mainly because it combined the Silurians and the Sea Devils in one story. This was just unthinkable. This was like the Doomsday of 1984, or the Freddy vs. Jason for horror fans. Now, you may be expecting me to say that Warriors of the Deep was a huge disappointment, but I still really like it. This is admittedly because a big part of me is still 12, and I'm kind of immune to seeing the shortcomings of classic Doctor Who, especially classic Doctor Who that I loved as a kid. For Warriors of the Deep, the Sea Devils underwent quite a radical redesign that made them look like samurai warriors, which was really cool, even though they sadly did not wield swords. They look particularly amazing while they're all standing in rows in suspended animation before their Silurian cousins wake them up. Like so many Fifth Doctor serials of that period, Warriors of the Deep was also chock-a-block with death, prompting the Doctor to note at the end that there should have been another way. Although clearly, let's be honest, there was no other way, because peaceful conclusions don't tend to make for the most thrilling drama. Warriors of the Deep was of course released on UK VHS, although sadly I don't seem to have that one, or at least I can't find it. So let's skip straight to the DVD release, which has got a pretty self-deprecating making of. One of those making ofs where everyone blames everyone else. And I don't think they should really feel all that bad about Warriors of the Deep, because it's a right old laugh. Yes, it's overlit, yes, the Merkur, whatever. Once again, if you haven't picked up this DVD, then you'll find a link to that downstairs in the video description. And just like Season 9, Season 21 has yet to join the Doctor Who The Collection Blu-ray series. Although, once again, if you're watching this in a year like 2024, there will be a link to it in the video description. The Sea Devils did not reappear in the 5 years before Doctor Who ground to an ugly halt in 1989, which would last for 16 years. And while Russell T Davies brought back some heavily redesigned Silurians in his own incarnation of post-millennial Doctor Who, for whatever reason he resisted doing the same with the Sea Devils. And that made it even more of a wonderful surprise on New Year's Day this year, when they were brilliantly revealed in a brief trailer at the end of Eve of the Daleks. And now here's Legend of the Sea Devils, which I have yet to see while making this video, but which I'm very much looking forward to. The Sea Devils are probably too limited and specific a monster to make regular comebacks on Doctor Who, and so let's enjoy the turtle-faced assassin's 50th anniversary return while we can. Now, Seasons 9 and 21 may not have been released as part of Doctor Who The Collection, but 10 other seasons of classic Doctor Who have. Click on this video right here to see what those seasons are and how I would rank those 10 box sets. Please remember to like and subscribe if you had a good time, and I'll see you down in comments for some Sea Devils chat. Thanks for watching, and good day to you!